Mr. Speaker, honorable members and the public will be aware of the annual trek to the United Kingdom required of premiers, chief ministers, and other elected leaders to meet with ministers of His Majesty's government for the Joint Ministerial Council. The Joint Ministerial Council, referred to as the JMC, is the highest political forum between the United Kingdom government and governments of the overseas territories. I rise today to share details of this productive trip. Mr. Speaker, the new UK government has stated that it seeks a relationship with its remaining overseas territories that is strong, based on a modern, respectful, and engaged partnership. Over the years, this government has developed a solid foundation with not only UK members of Parliament, but UK senior civil servants. From our continued efforts, the new Labour government are well acquainted with Bermuda's constitutional, historical, financial, and political standing. The UK government recognizes that the relationship between the UK and its overseas territories is an evolving one. As such, in conjunction with colleagues leaders, the government of Bermuda supports a new UK white paper that addresses the advancement of all territory constitutions and recognizes our collective responsibilities as the existing 2012 white paper has reached its maturity. Mr. Speaker, the new UK government has set out 5 principles towards the overseas territories, which I shall cover. First, devolution and democratic authority, establishing clear consistency on constitutional principles of partnership and engagement. Number 2, listening, firmly believing in the principle of, and to quote, nothing about you without you, end quote. The third, partnership, built on mutual respect and inclusion involving all government departments, not just the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office. 4, rights come with responsibilities. Shared values of the British family include a robust commitment to democracy, the rule of law and liberty, and the protection of human rights. And 5th, advancement of good governance, ensuring proper democratic accountability and regulation. Mr. Speaker, I was encouraged by the engagements with the UK government, which included a meeting between overseas territories leaders and the Right Honourable Keir Starmer, Prime Minister, the Right Honourable David Lammy, Foreign Secretary, and Stephen Doughty, MP, Minister of State for Europe, North America, and the overseas territories, who chaired the Joint Ministerial Council. During our interaction, the Prime Minister reiterated his unwavering support for Bermuda and all territories, recognizing the overseas territories' ironclad commitment to democratic autonomy, and the right to self-determination. Mr. Speaker, I held a bilateral with our Minister for the Overseas Territories, Stephen Doughty, in which Her Excellency the Governor was in attendance. I expressed the need for Bermuda to seek clarity on a range of matters. First, most importantly, the review process for constitutional reform, which is unique to each territory. Second, the support from the UK government on Bermuda's implementation of the Global Minimum Tax Initiative through the introduction of our corporate income tax regime. And third, the shared concern to address the violence facing our communities. Mr. Speaker, I found the minister to be committed to the principles set out, and this has persisted since his time in opposition. Our engagement is long-standing, and I'm confident with the senior minister afforded to Bermuda by the Foreign, Commonwealth, and Development Office, our priorities will be well represented across all UK government departments. Further, it is worthwhile noting that under Minister Doughty's leadership, all UK government departments have been assigned a minister with responsibility for the relationship with the overseas territories and meet regularly to address issues important to the OTs. Mr. Speaker, I further held a bilateral with Economic Secretary to the Treasury and City Minister Talik Siddiq, MP. Given international business importance to the Bermuda economy, it was important to share Bermuda's progress on the implementation of corporate income tax. Additionally, I reiterate the view that the relationship between the City of London and Bermuda is a symbiotic one that strengthens both sectors. City Minister Siddiq welcomed Bermuda's next phase of our tax regime and was fully aware of the importance of Bermuda's insurance industry to the United Kingdom economy. Mr. Speaker, during the JMC, Minister Stephen Doughty was joined by Dan Jarvis, MP, Minister of State of the Home Office, to address the Foreign Secretary's campaign to tackle illicit finance. I reiterated Bermuda's position on central registers of beneficial ownership. Bermuda already provides information to relevant authorities. Bermuda has a long-standing commitment to financial transparency, and such, Bermuda and the UK will continue to cooperate, including through technical forums and international fora, on anti-money laundering, sanctions enforcement, and all efforts related to tackling illicit finance. Mr. Speaker, I was accompanied to the JMC by the Honorable Member, the Minister for Economy and Labor, as economic development and diversification formed the central theme of the meetings. The Minister for Economy and Labor led the economic diversification session on behalf of Bermuda, and this session was co-chaired by Douglas Alexander MP, Minister of State at the Department for Business and Trade, together with UK export finance officials. Discussions were based upon the promotion and encouragement of trade and investment and partnership, as both are key engines of prosperity. The outcome of our discussion saw commitments by the United Kingdom government to continue to work with Bermuda in the following areas: explore territorial extension of the UK free trade agreements, investment summits with participation from overseas territories, and trade missions to overseas territories. Mr. Speaker, it was imperative that we address issues relating to security. With the Right Honorable Lord Hanson Flint, Minister of State for the Home Office, we were keen to focus on areas which the government requires a more defined approach as the UK's obligations regarding internal security. As such, we agreed for the Home Office to define and articulated its offer regarding continued guidance and support on tackling cybercrime for all territories. This includes a commitment to continue to work with all territories to improve incident management and response. Mr. Speaker, Bermuda, together with all overseas territories, represent 94% of UK's total biodiversity. We represent the largest component of the UK meeting its international conservation obligations. Bermuda is recognized as a steward for internationally important and unique environments and ecosystems. Much of this recognition should be credited to the work of the Honourable Member, the Honourable Deputy Premier and Minister for Home Affairs, and his continued efforts to showcase Bermuda's commitments to addressing the effects of climate change. As a result of this continued advocacy, the following has been agreed to with Kerry McCarthy MP, Minister for Climate at Department of Energy Security and Net Zero. The London office is working together with the FCDO, the UK Department for Environment, the UK Department for Energy, alongside all overseas territories to develop a proposal for an overseas territory climate resilience facility. This work is a result of the Honourable Deputy Premier's tireless engagement at various environmental fora, particularly commitments made at COP29 in Dubai. Mr. Speaker, the public would be keen to know that conversations are also being held to secure commitments relating to education, healthcare, and public health, together with the UK Department for Health and Department for Education. There was a recognition of the crucial role of coordinated health and education support for young people. Together with the London office, in coordination with Bermuda government departments, we will explore with the UK government to review their offer of support in the following areas: opportunities to share experiencing and accessing pharmaceutical supply chains, and support healthcare emergency training such as mental health. Mr. Speaker, while in London, it was important to maximize my time to ensure to meet with key stakeholders from our insurance and reinsurance industry. The first of these meetings were held at Lloyd's of London with CEO Mr. John Neal, including representation from Bermuda's industry, such as the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Reinsurers. I was accompanied by the Financial Secretary, Chidozio Fuego, and Craig Swan, CEO of the Bermuda Monetary Authority. During this meeting, we spoke of the strong partnership between the Bermuda market and Lloyd's of London. A visit would not be complete without visiting a strong supporter of Bermuda's industry, the Governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey. We discussed developments in the insurance industry and how continued partnership is beneficial to the UK and Bermuda market relationship. Mr. Speaker, apart from the high-level meetings, the highlight of the visit is always the student dinner, which provides an opportunity for those young Bermudians pursuing higher education in the UK to engage directly with both me and others in the public service. This was an inspiring evening due to the talented young Bermudians and their aspirations to contribute to Bermuda in the future. Mr. Speaker, I wish to conclude by noting that this year, the London office is observing 15 years of service to Bermuda. The office, the first of our overseas representations, plays a pivotal role to establishing and representing Bermuda's interests on the international stage. The continued work to uphold Bermuda's diplomatic function and work with the UK government will reaffirm Bermuda's role as a respected voice in the UK and amongst the overseas territories. On behalf of the government, I thank the team of the London office, led by Ms. Kimberly Durant, for the continued stellar service they continue to provide on behalf of the people of Bermuda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.